recording. Thank you, server. Welcome everyone to the second day of the University of Maryland Baltimore Global Health Summit, Decolonizing Global Health Education. My name is Carlos Alberto Fairun Guzman. I am part of the summit team, and today we have a wonderful agenda for you, and we hope you are able to stay throughout the day. Before I start and give the word to Dr. Roger Ward, I would like to provide a quick 1-minute recap of what happened yesterday, because we had a really powerful and engaging day in our summit. We first heard a powerful keynote address by Dr. Ijeoma Nodim Opara, who, as my colleague Amy Ramirez mentioned in our debrief session tomorrow, actually delivered a keynote that, beyond its content and the value of its content regarding in relation to decolonization, the means by which it was delivered was an act of decolonization itself. We heard snippets of even poetry and singing that we don't usually see in these academic environments. So I encourage everyone to see that keynote address, which we have posted on YouTube for easy access. We also heard from an amazing group of trainees and students that shared with us their perspectives on how they're within their future professions, dentistry, physical therapy, medicine, pharmacy, and nursing. There's still a lot to do if we're going to speak about decolonizing professions and being truly inclusive and equitable in the way within we educate our future professionals. Then we had an amazing reactor panel who, with their expertise and their experience, really came to shed some light on how the decolonization conversation needs to borrow from different fields, different lenses, different experiences, and also just highlighting the importance of student movements, but also the role that faculty and leadership within institutions have to play in order to move the needle forward. Finally, we heard from Courtney Jones-Carney and Dr. Thurka Sangaramurthy, and we heard, if you're an educator, this is a very important conversation because we heard the concrete ways in which we can start applying decolonizing principles in our classroom today. We hope you enjoy our second day of the summit. And for now, I'll leave you with the University of Maryland Provost, Dr. Roger Ward. Dr. Ward, please.
Good morning or good afternoon, and welcome to day 2 of the 2021 UMB Global Health Summit, focusing on decolonizing global health education. Even as I bring greetings from my adopted home here in Baltimore, Maryland, in these United States, my mind never strays far from my own country of birth, Trinidad and Tobago in the West Indies, where the COVID-19 pandemic continues to claim lives in unprecedented numbers daily. My elderly parents and much of my extended family still live there, which is why this topic of global health, equity, and justice is so very important to me personally. As you heard yesterday, our inaugural UMB Global Health Summit was held in May 2019 with a focus on research and service, particularly on the African continent by the Center for Health, International Education and Biosecurity, CHEB, and the Center for Vaccine Development, CVD. 60 individuals came to Baltimore from our international sites for that event. This year's summit is spearheaded by the very capable Dr. Carlos Ferron Guzman, one of our new associate professors in the graduate school here at UMB. Dr. Guzman is supporting the launch of the new Masters of Science in Global Health and a certificate in Global Health Innovation this fall. As we contemplate the launch of these cutting-edge educational programs, it is appropriate to focus this year's summit on education. I fully expect that, as was the case with our 2019 summit, this 2021 summit would leave us with an ambitious, forward-looking, and action-oriented agenda to pursue over the next couple of years. By way of example, let me share with you some of the fruits of the 2019 summit. At the end of that summit, we held a strategic planning session. The results of that session were incorporated in a campus-wide internationalization report that was completed in November 2020. The executive summary of the 143-page report is available online. The internationalization process was facilitated by the American Council of Education and brought all our schools together to catalog and celebrate our global accomplishments and activities. Perhaps even more important, the internationalization process was forward-looking and documented our aspirations to work together in an aligned and coordinated way to meet our mission, to improve the human condition globally. To implement the recommendations outlined in the internationalization report, the theme of global engagement and education will be adopted in the university's 2021 to 2026 strategic plan. Although still in draft form, the strategic outcomes under that theme will ensure that all students have the opportunity to engage in global learning during their time here at UMB, that there is a focused leveraging of institutional resources to support sustainable, innovative, ethical, and responsive global engagement, that there is an expansion of university programs that support and celebrate the richness and expertise of international students, scholars, and faculty, that there is a comprehensive and integrated communication strategy to promote UMB internally and externally as a national and international global health and education powerhouse, and that there is a coordinating hub to add value and facilitate global operations. Work towards the coordinating hub is already underway. In anticipation of continuing growth in both the volume and variety of UMB's international activities, we are launching the UMB International Operations Initiative. Our aim is to build over the coming year a robust infrastructure to facilitate and effectively support all of UMB's international operations. The initiative will include a focus on reflecting and rethinking the practicalities of how we engage globally and apply a decolonization lens to our operational practices worldwide. I want to share some important news on another front. The goal of this summit is to elevate the voices of the so-called Global South in our practice and teaching of global health. Perhaps the most important thing we learned during the internationalization process, and something that has been amplified by the COVID-19 pandemic and discussions of structural racism, is that we have as much to learn from others as we have to share. If our global impact is to grow, it needs to be informed by the expertise and the experience of our partners around the world. The Center for Health, International Education, and Biosecurity, CHEB, is one of the university's most valuable and impactful programs through which global research and service takes place. The center's work in 8 countries on the African continent is comprised of a network of international experts who work with local stakeholders to combat infectious and non-communicable diseases. Tragically, in March of this year, one of CHEB's Nigerian experts, Henrietta Sele Thierry, met an untimely death, leaving behind her husband and 2 young children. At the time of her death, Henrietta was the ethics and regulatory lead for CHEB in Nigeria. She joined the Nigeria team in 2007 as an assistant research study coordinator and rose quickly because of her skills and competence to positions of greater responsibility. Henrietta was instrumental to the success of numerous global health projects. For example, in the Nigeria HIV Impact and Indicator Survey, the largest HIV-focused survey ever conducted anywhere in the world, Henrietta oversaw regulatory affairs. In the ECHO project in Nigeria, she led its successful implementation, which subsequently expanded to become the West Africa Regional ECHO project. Henrietta's life was a gift to all of us and to all of those whose lives were touched and saved because of her work. To honor Henrietta's life and work, the graduate school at UMB has renamed our primary scholarship program in honor of her. As the Dean of the graduate school, I am pleased to announce that the Henrietta Selle Thierry Scholarship Program will provide 10 full tuition scholarships to university staff living and working outside of the United States. 10 students a year will be able to access the graduate school online Masters of Science in Global Health and Masters of Science in the Health Sciences. According to Dr. Mansharat, CHEB's Global Director, Henrietta was a kind, diligent, resourceful, results-oriented, and dedicated member of the Nigeria team. As the Dean of the Graduate School, it seems fitting to honor Henrietta's spirit by giving others the opportunity to grow and contribute to science as she did in her life. I understand that some members of Henrietta's family are in the audience today. I want to take time now to recognize each of them. First, Henrietta's parents, Mr. Ashaku Thierry, Henrietta's father, Miss Kanyang Thierry, Henrietta's mother, Henrietta's three sisters, Miss Yop Panshang Tengmang, Dr. Garos Jakim, and Dr. Mafeng Thierry. And of course, Henrietta's two daughters, Tihila Gabriel and Nima Gabriel. Thank you for joining us today. Please accept my sincere condolences as you continue to grieve and mourn the loss of Henrietta, who was taken from you and us far too soon. I hope that this scholarship program is a light that will provide some measure of solace to your family and serve as a lasting legacy of Henrietta's life. Through our philanthropy program, we will add to the scholarship funds over time to create even more opportunities for international students to obtain degrees from UMB. Doing so provides the opportunity for people to obtain graduate degrees to enhance their professional growth, but also, perhaps even more importantly and very relevant to this summit, we believe the Henrietta Selle Thierry Scholarship will bring different voices into the classrooms to enhance our teaching, learning, and impact. To begin today's first session, I will now turn the microphone over to Dr. Bonnie Bissonnette, who will introduce the two keynote discussants. Thank you all for your engagement and participation.